Let's try that again. Had a little bit of technical difficulty there. Appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm Nathan Burks. Joined as always by Jacob Hamilton with Alabama Stormtroopers and Stormtrooper Network. We are talking about the weather. I know that's a lot on everybody's minds, and there's a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right into it. So we're going to talk round one, which is happening right now. This is a live look out of the radar from Springfield, Missouri, and this is a active severe thunderstorm warning for this particular cell. We did have a tornado warning for the cell up here earlier, and actually they're letting that thing kind of die off. But this is the type of environment that we're dealing with tonight, and really throughout. It's actually going to amplify tomorrow. As you can see here, there is 1, 2, 3 storms, little supercell storms there, and each one of them has their own little hook to it. That's the little appendage that's kind of wrapping back in on itself. And this is another thing we're going to have to deal with besides tornadoes is an extremely large hail core. That area that right in here that is black and purple, that is indicative of very large hail that could be over 1/2 inch in diameter. So let's back this out. I'm going to turn the composite radar on, kind of take a step back, let you look at the big picture. Let's turn my next rad data off here. Let's go back and take a look at the big picture. This is a national view here. We have active weather tonight all the way from New Orleans back up into the northern Iowa area. This area in pink that you see here, including Memphis and southern Illinois, parts of Missouri, this is a PDS tornado watch, which means a particularly dangerous situation. And I'll show you the reason that is. Let's go in here. I'm going to take all of this radar data off, and we're going to look at the hazardous weather outlooks or the convective outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the reason for that PDS watch. You have a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk, which runs from about Jackson, Mississippi, all the way up north into Iowa, just south of Waterloo and around the Des Moines area. This is a level 4, like I said, level 4 out of 5. Outside of that, it's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk that runs around Hattiesburg back up to Chicago over towards Omaha. And this is what the majority of the country is dealing with tonight, is a big area of severe weather. But back here at home in Mississippi right now, we'll take that convective outlook back off. We'll throw the composite radar back on there, and I know we got friends tuning in from Mississippi and Alabama. Right now, there are no active warnings for Mississippi at all. There's 2 active tornado watches. The one in the pink to the north, which includes areas north of US 82. That is the PDS watch. This includes places like Clarksdale, Oxford, the campus of the University of Mississippi, Tupelo, Amory, and back north towards Corinth and Holly Springs, back up into the Memphis suburbs. Down south of that, you have along the Mississippi River, you have a line of supercell thunderstorms that is making its way into Mississippi. Right now, all still below severe limits, but this is a regular tornado watch that includes areas like Greenwood, Yazoo City, Jackson, Vicksburg, Crystal Springs, down 55 towards Brookhaven, Macomb, and then into Louisiana, to Baton Rouge area. So let's talk about what's on everybody's mind. Let's talk about tomorrow. The big thing that people are worried about is tomorrow. So let's let me switch my graphics systems here. There we go. And this is what we're looking at for tomorrow. This is a rare Day 2 high risk that was issued this afternoon by the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. And this is the second time that this has happened, that this particular high risk has been issued on a Day 2 outlook. since the last time it happened was March 25th, 2021. And that was, that was March 25th, 2021. That was, if you live in Birmingham, that was the day that the F3 tornado touched down in Pelham, ran across Indian Springs area, tore up some trees through Oak Mountain, and gained EF3 strength as it struck the Eagle Point subdivision, which is near the intersection of US 119, Cahaba Valley Road, or it's not US 1, Alabama 119, Cahaba Valley Road, and US 280, excuse me. That's the type of setup we're dealing with today. One thing that we want to stress is do not get caught up in these colors. Doesn't matter if you are in Muscle Shoals or down in Mobile and Dothan, Auburn, does not matter. If you are in the states of Mississippi or Alabama, you need to make sure that you are paying close attention to the weather overnight tonight and to tomorrow. So let's talk a little bit about timing. Tonight, for our friends in Mississippi, your time to pay attention is right now through probably about 3 or 4 a.m. I fully expect this line of storms to clear the Mississippi state line with Alabama roughly after midnight or thereabouts. It is currently 8 p.m. It should be entering West Alabama about midnight. For our friends in Alabama, you want to pay attention, especially if you are in the northwestern counties. This includes the cities of Muscle Shoals, Hamilton, Hackleburg, Fayette, Jasper, back over towards Lamar County and Vernon, and those border counties there. You guys know the drill. Y'all are typically the first ones to get impacted by severe weather when it happens in the state. You want to be paying extra attention tonight for these storms to be severe as they move across. Do not let your guard down tonight. Now, as you move east, areas like to the east, the further east you go, the less the severe threat is tonight. This is mainly going to be a northwest Alabama severe threat tonight, but we still not, just given the environment, we cannot let our guard down. Tomorrow, let's take a look at the timeline for tomorrow. Let me advance my graphics here. So, basically with Alabama, you can take wherever you're at. I know this is a graphic from the Birmingham National Weather Service, but you can basically take where these lines are and draw where you're at. Draw to where you're at on the map. And it's pretty much going to be the same timing. This is not this is not the typical wintertime threat that we see here. This is our normal springtime event, and it's going to be more scattered and linear. So the main window for Alabama is noontime tomorrow till about 3 a.m. on Sunday. Now, what does that include? That includes a threat of tornadoes. Some of those will be strong to violent tornadoes. They will be long-track tornadoes. We're looking at tornadoes F2 or greater for the most part. And these things will be on the ground. The ones that, especially in the high-risk area, in the moderate risk area, these things will be on the ground, and they will stay on the ground for a very long time. Damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. There could be gusts higher. Large hail. We could see hail the size of golf balls or tennis balls or greater. So if you have a way if you get your car in the garage or under some type of cover, and that'd be pretty advisable if you can do that before this event starts tomorrow. Have multiple ways to get alerts. That includes your NOAA weather radio. That is the number one way to get alerts for severe weather, is going to be your NOAA weather radio. The second best way is going to be the WEA alerts on your phone. Make sure that your phone does not go into sleep mode or do not disturb mode for the next 48 hours. You want that thing, you want the wireless emergency alerts to be active on your phone, so it goes absolutely nuts like it does when you get an Amber Alert or something. Those are very important and very helpful to wake you up from a dead sleep in the middle of the night as a worst case scenario. But you do want that NOAA weather radio to wake you up beforehand. The next is going to be if you lose power, have a radio, a regular FM radio. There's TV stations across the state are going to be simulcasting their coverage across radio stations across the state, and it really just depends on where you're at and to which radio station you listen to find coverage. Another good way is our new partners with Weather Call. you can go to our website, stormtroopernetwork.com, and sign up with Weather Call. Weather Call will call you or text you whenever a tornado or severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your location. It's $15 a year. You go in, put in your information with your address, and then it will, like you said, it will call you or text you whenever you are inside the threat area for a severe thunderstorm or tornado. Again, those are good ways to have backups, but again, the primary way that you want to be alerted is no weather radio. I cannot stress that enough. Those things are designed for you to wake you up in the middle of the night with a loud tone, or any time of day, to get your attention with a loud tone. Please do not rely on outdoor sirens. They're antiquated. They're not designed to be heard indoors. They were designed to be heard back in the 40s and during World War II. They're not designed to be dependent on for life-saving stuff today. If you're inside. They're outdoor warning sirens for a reason. I think that's covered everything I got. So let's take a look. To one thing we mentioned tonight was the risk area. So this kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about when we say a slight risk, a marginal risk, enhanced risk, and so forth. High risk. I could pull up I can bore you with some of the data, but basically, some of the indices that the SPC was showing today show a risk of 45% chance of a tornado or severe weather within 45 or 25 miles of a given point inside that high risk area. That is about as high as it gets. So this is again. Not to beat a dead horse, but it's one of those things that we have to stress that this is a dangerous event. So you heard me mention earlier that there was a PDS watch that was issued. Look for most of the watches that are going to be issued throughout this event to be PDS watches. Well, what does that mean? It means it's a particularly dangerous situation. And the reason they use wording like that is not to scare people, but again, to stress just how volatile the situation is. And it's very rarely used. And again, it's only used when we have that potential for those long-track violent tornadoes. And sometimes it does accompany severe thunderstorms and because of intense straight-line winds. And so right now, before things, hopefully you've already done this, but right now you need to make sure you review your severe weather safety procedures with your family. Make sure your safety closet is ready to go. You know what you're going to do when a watch or a warning is issued. So you're making that plan. What do you do? So what do you do? Hopefully everybody knows what they're going to do. But right now, the worst options that you can shelter in are going to be a mobile home, a vehicle, or under a highway overpass. If you are in a mobile home, please make plans to stay somewhere else tonight, and basically tonight through Sunday morning. Be it a hotel, be it with a friend or a relative. Do not try to ride out these storms in a mobile home if you value your life. These are not storms to play with. Vehicles, do not try to outrun these storms in your vehicle. I've seen a lot of people saying that they're going to get out of town and they're going to try to outrun these things. Don't. By the time that you think you can get in your vehicle and run, it's too late. Make sure that there's a map on. I think we shared it earlier. There's for our Alabama friends. There is a link on our page from earlier today from the Alabama State Emergency Management Agency that has a list of storm shelters. Make plans to go to those storm shelters. I know here locally in Birmingham, the city of Hueytown has opened their storm shelter for our friends over there. I believe they open up as soon as a watch is issued. The city of Pelham, I think, is the same way. They have tornado shelters at the Pelham Park Middle School and the Pelham Ridge Elementary. Again, get in touch with your county emergency management agency or your local police department. They can direct you towards they can direct you towards the resources for that. Another bad options are large open rooms and gymnasiums. Walmarts, any place like that is going to be just flattened. Same with manufactured housing, and I'm talking that means modular housing. You don't want to be in those in any type of structure like that. You want to be in a site-built home. The best options for a site-built home are going to be an interior room of a well-constructed home or building, and best of all in the basement. But the absolute best place you could be is in some type of storm shelter, specifically designed safe room. Again, nowhere to go. If you are inside a site-built home, you don't want to be on the top floor. This goes for apartment buildings too. If you are in a second or third floor apartment, get to know your neighbors really quick. You don't want to be on the top level of an apartment building during a tornado or during these high winds, because typically when a tornado hits an apartment building or straight line winds hit an apartment building, guess which one is first to go? The roof is going to go off and the upper floors of that building are going to go first. So we always stress lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. You want to put as many objects any walls between you and the tornado as possible. That'll offer you the best protection. So, tornadoes ahead. We've already kind of covered a little bit of this. You want to stay informed. We're going to be here as long as we can, but we have to stress to you guys, we're volunteers. A lot of us are first responders. And honestly, I'm going to do my best to be here with you wall to wall as long as I can, as long as it's safe for me to. We have some of us are first responders that if our areas are hit, we're going to have to be out there helping people. So that's the reason we stress having multiple ways. We are here to do this as a convenience to help you guys as much as we can. But we shouldn't be your first choice to watch for long-term weather coverage. Now, stay informed. Again, if you're watching this video, you're trying to stay as informed as possible. Keep those wireless emergency alerts enabled on your phone. It could save your life. And make sure that your friends and family have those enabled as well. And then take immediate action and find shelter. If there's a tornado or threatening weather coming to you, so if you see a tornado coming your way from a county over, that's before that warning is even issued. That's the time to go ahead and get to a place of safety if you cannot take shelter in your home. Not when a warning is issued for your location. Another thing is overpasses. Please, please, please do not take shelter under an overpass or a bridge. Those things act as a wind tunnel. They intensify the wind, and they will either suck you straight out of there, or you will be pelted with debris, and it's just not going to be good for you. I know everybody has seen the video from, I believe it was 1991, and I said this last night. There was a video from 1990, 1991 of this family that took shelter under an overpass in either Oklahoma or Kansas, and you do not want to do that. They were sideswiped by a tornado. They did not take a direct hit from a tornado. That is a misleading thing to think that overpasses are safe. But we will be here as long as we need to. We have fully staffed as much as we can, and we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Jacob, you got anything you want to add?
Not at the moment. I will say for our one thing I do want to add for our North Alabama folks. If you go on our Facebook page, I'm not sure if it's already been shared, but if it has not been, I'm going to share it in our group. The National Weather Service in Huntsville did a briefing this afternoon on the public side, and they kind of break things down for North Alabama. But you can kind of take that briefing, and if I'm correct, Nathan, kind of apply it to all of Alabama at this point. They were able to do a public briefing, but that's the only thing I had that you didn't touch on.
All right. Well, Jacob, let me try that again because I think I had you. No, you're good. Okay. All right. Well, with that, we're going to put things on pause for a minute. We will be back tonight, burning the midnight oil just to keep an eye on things. Again, before we do, I know our friend, like I said, I know our friends in Mississippi are concerned tonight. This is a live look at the radar, composite look, and right now there is nothing at severe limits. I want to make sure of that. Nothing at severe limits right now over in Mississippi, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on things. If you have friends right now in North Arkansas, Northeast Arkansas, Southeast Missouri, up towards really, and this is pretty interesting, near the St. Louis area. Before we go, I do want to take a look at this. If you have friends in the St. Louis area, they need to be paying attention to the weather really closely. This is a tornado emergency, tornado warning, tornado observed. Let's see. Let's go and just because this is the type of environment we're looking at tonight, or looking at over the next couple of hours here, this is going to be. And these things are, that's another thing, Jacob, I want to note. These things are going to be booking it. These storms are going to, this one's moving at 71 miles an hour. That is insanely fast. So, again, like I said, make plans now to do what you need to do to protect life and property. Don't wait until the last minute, because if these storms tomorrow are moving as fast as they are tonight, which they should be, that is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a storm move at 70. I don't think I've ever seen 71 mile an hour storm motion on a storm. But this is just the type of atmosphere we're dealing with. So, if you have friends out in the suburbs on the western side of St. Louis, go ahead and make sure that they are paying attention to the weather tonight. So we'll, like I said, we will be back if needed tonight, but we plan on being around all day tomorrow. Wall-to-wall coverage is needed, and we're going to get through this. I know a lot of people suffer from storm anxiety, but I promise you guys, we're going to get through this on the other side. You can't change the weather. You can only change how you react to it, and being prepared is the best thing that you can do. So with that, we're going to call it a wrap. Appreciate you tuning in tonight for the Stormtrooper Network. I'm Nathan Burks along with Jacob Hamilton. Y'all have a great night.